Hey Guru Nation, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, it's theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube if you haven't already. Make sure you go subscribe to the blog, theclinicaltrialsguru.com. And if you're into like written articles and industry trends and late breaking news, I have a new blog. It's a news blog and it's all written blog. It's theclinicalscoop.com. You can find links underneath this video, or if you're on the blog itself, on the Clinical Trials Guru, there's a link to my news blog, alright? So, the way this works, you send me your questions however you want, email, text, some people call me, social media, wherever you're comfortable. Today I got a question from someone who emailed me a question, Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Why does a clinical research coordinator not need a degree, right? The operative word is not. So, first of all, there's nothing written in GCP, which are the industry guidelines and standards for how to run and conduct clinical research studies, that states that a study coordinator needs to have a bachelor's degree. However, okay, this is very important. This does not mean that just because you don't have a bachelor's degree, you're going to get hired at every single research clinic that you apply to. Some research clinics, some hospitals, some universities, some CROs, when they hire coordinators, they have their own requirements, okay? But there's no regulations stating that a coordinator needs to have a bachelor's degree. Now lately it's becoming more competitive, and I'm seeing a lot more research clinics looking for people with bachelor's degrees to be coordinators, but I know plenty, I've partnered with plenty, I've hired plenty, I know plenty that do not have bachelor's degrees. That's because at the end of the day, while we all know, or maybe we don't, that the study coordinator is the backbone of any study, I mean, they are worth their weight in gold. They do literally 90% of the research activities at the sites. They do the study coordinating. While they do all that, they're probably the most important role in a clinical trial, even more important than the CRA in my opinion, even more important than the PI in my opinion. They do not have responsibility for the conduct of the trial at the site. The responsibility lies on the principal investigator. The principal investigator, if he or she wants, they could make themselves the coordinator. They could be the PI and the study coordinator. However, as you know, most MDs, most doctors, they don't have time to coordinate. There's a lot of paperwork involved. There's a lot of mundane tasks that a coordinator needs to do. Filing safety letters, answering queries, entering data in the EDC systems. A PI doesn't have time to do this. However, there's nothing preventing a PI. I've heard of some PIs who are the coordinators and they don't have any employees. They're the PI and the coordinator. At the end of the day, the PI is allowed to delegate duties. In every regulatory binder, in every study, there's a delegation of authorities log or a delegation of duties log. The PI can list and assign tasks to anybody that is qualified to perform those tasks in the opinion of the PI. Now, there are some limitations to this, okay? You can't, if you're the PI, you can't delegate someone who doesn't know how to draw blood to draw blood. You can't delegate someone who's not qualified to collect vital signs to collect vital signs. You can't outsource things that require technical expertise. However, study coordinators can do just about anything. I know many coordinators who do vital signs, who do draw blood, who do process labs, who do physical exams, and I know many who don't because they're not qualified to do those things. They're not phlebotomists, they don't have training for how to draw blood, they don't know how to do physical exams, they don't know how to do ECGs. At the end of the day, it's totally up to the PI. As a general rule, whatever is allowed in your state, whatever qualifications someone needs to do a certain medical procedure, you typically are held to those same standards in research. The thing about study coordinators is there's a whole lot of tasks associated with every study that do not require qualifications. They require expertise, they require knowledge, they require experience. So this is why, and it's a very good question, and I've never done a video on this, why a study coordinator does not necessarily need a bachelor's degree. Okay? So hopefully that helps. All the responsibilities on the PI's shoulders. The PI can delegate duties accordingly. The PI needs to train all his staff members or her staff members on how to safely, effectively perform their duties as per GCP standards and as per following the protocol. And of course following local and state and national regulations when it comes to certain medical procedures. You can't delegate your study coordinator to conduct a surgery if you're doing a surgery trial, because in your state, most likely you need a doctor to do that, right? But you can delegate that surgery to a surgeon, or you can do it yourself if you're a surgeon. Coordinator may not need a bachelor's degree, but every coordinator will need the following 3 things. GCP, good clinical practice. And by the way, the best thing about all these 3 things I'm about to mention is they are free. So every study coordinator, matter of fact, every staff member associated with the study, every staff member on the 1572, and every coordinator, and every PI needs to do GCP training every year. Sometimes you need to do it for each study, and the sponsor will send you a separate GCP training for that particular protocol. So if you're doing 10 studies a year, so you might have 10 GCP certificates every year. Second thing a coordinator needs, only if they are shipping and processing laboratory samples. They don't necessarily have to be drawing the blood. They could do that. They don't have to. If they're processing and shipping lab samples to the central labs, which 95% of studies utilize, you have to have IATA certification. Again, free. And these expire, I believe, every 2 years. And the last one you need, it's not a requirement anywhere, but it's certainly helpful to have. National Institute of Health, again, absolutely free. National Institute of Health Protecting Human Research Subjects, very good for every PI, very good for every study coordinator, very good for every sub-I. Not required, but definitely if it's free and it literally takes only 20 to 30 minutes to complete, everyone should do it at least once. Thank you for the question. Very good. Never got it before. Hopefully it helps, and hopefully you guys interact with me and send me more questions. All right? Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Take care.